read every word. I take strong exception to what our folks on this side of the ocean are doing. They're complacent, comfortable in their captivity. The illusion of inclusion, they let it permeate them for the sake of having access to trinkets and toys. The cowardice, the mental sloth. On the other side of the ocean, our kith and kindred are just as bad. I don't have the words to describe the fury, the anger, the disappointment. Our folks on the other side of the ocean still move as a unit for the most part. On this side of the ocean, our folks don't. And there are consequences to that. Our folks on the other side move as a unit, generally in an uninformed manner, though. Our folks here, they're better informed. They just don't care. They've given up. Our folks on the other side, they would like to be free of the grasp of the Paris Club and the Commonwealth. The Paris Club is not a situation that our folks cannot get away from. They just don't think beyond 20 minutes. On this side of the ocean, our folks go along to get along. They don't want to cause any trouble. They just want access to trinkets and toys. The sort that their little children are on TikTok and other platforms they shouldn't be on, doing things they have no business doing. So what that their women have lost all manner of class and grace? With the bulk of our young men grew up in single mother homes, where the offspring are used as weapons against the fathers. And there is nothing being done to change that. The work that we do, we cannot compel it upon folks. It either resonates in their spirit or it doesn't. The issue is, in the modern era, parties are into everything except that which is honorable, right, and just, and practical, and enduring. They chase trinkets and toys. Their systems are loaded with estrogen, so the babies come out masculine instead of feminine, and come out feminine instead of masculine. It's biological warfare, chemical warfare, and folks ain't figured it out yet. I went back and looked at the economies in all the areas where they had a coup that were French-speaking, because that's where all the coups are going down. In the Alkebu-lan and the Ab.Zu, what I found was no surprise. The economies 3 years prior to each of those coups were where you expect them to be. Rudderless, pointless, and not by accident. And parties took their cut. They took the bribes and kept their mouths shut to keep the bribes coming. They went, in certain cases, to see about getting some assistance from the debt trappers in the Far East, the neo-colonizers. No plan, no imagination whatsoever. And so the youth were not happy with particular things, and rightly so. Watching resources go out and no infrastructure coming in sufficient. No funding coming in sufficient to improve the quality of their lives. What did folks think was going to happen? Out of all of them, Conakry is the only one that's smart in terms of not using the CFA. Their currency is worthless. It's not substance, so it's even more worthless. However, it's theirs. Good, bad, or indifferent. Take opposition out of the equation. For what they're doing for them, good, bad, or indifferent is theirs, not Paris. But again, their waters they cannot even control. They can't control the piracy in their waters. They can't control those coming in and fishing in their waters. Between losing the fishing stocks to outsiders, if you would, and losing to piracy, and not having a solid plan for economic development and advancement, Conakry suffers. So they had a coup, and what changed besides nothing? Nothing. Bamako, multiple coups. What's changed? Economically, nothing. Plenty of gold mines, no gold reserves. But Paris has chunks of gold with no gold deposits, no gold mines. But they got lots and lots of gold. And a lot of it came out of Bamako. The Franks and Gauls, they're doing all right for themselves. Our family in Bamako, not so much. Niamey, also landlocked like Bamako. Closed airspace. Oh, the new leader is so smart, and so he talks so this and that. Shakes his fist at Paris. All right. Has not let go of the CFA. Has not provided a replacement. See, my issue with all these coups is they get involved in the coups and there's no plan that collectively, fairly, and equitably saves lives and improves the quality of lives. None. I'm the military guy and now I'm in charge. In charge of what? To do what? What's the plan? It's the first question to be asked that I never get an answer to. Because they don't have one. There was no intention. This is ego. Not we go together. Ego alone. You have all the uranium, Niamey. And what do they do with it? They have uranium. They use CFA. Landlocked. No plan. Ouagadougou. A coup. Landlocked. Take a wild guess where they're at. Years and years before the coup and where they are now. The same exact position. What did it get them? Collectively, what does it get them? So, as I said before, literally 20 Earth years ago, I wrote a plan for intermodal commerce and trade. The Trans-Sahel, in terms of pavement, all the landlocked areas be connected to the deep sea port in Lagos by way of multiple lanes of pavement and a rail corridor. A rail corridor to move massive amounts of freight. So, ship to rail to truck chassis, and vice versa. Products, materials, and goods out. Finished products, not just raw materials. Bring manufacturing to our family all throughout Bamako, Niamey, N'Djamena, Ouagadougou. Pipeline to bring the water from the Atlantis Ocean inland. Desalinization is very expensive. I get it. However, when you have very little choice, invest in it. Desalinize the salt water and make it drinkable water. Irrigation purposes, bathing, cooking. Health goes up, life expectancy goes up for all of our family in Bamako, all the family in Ouagadougou, all the family in Niamey, and all the family in N'Djamena. Lagos gets the fees for what's going in and out, the transiting fees. That helps out our family in the Omotal district, misnomer so-called Nigeria. As I said the whole time, Abuja has the strongest military in the area, third strongest on the continent. So we contract to have them to secure the rail corridor. But she's centered, the intermodal hub is centered just outside Niamey. Let Niamey ensure it. The Amexem-Moor-Empire Imperial government, we desire to build and manage it. So let Niamey get their cut, let Abuja get their cut, and let us get a cut. Everybody wins. With the colonizers and hostiles nowhere in the equation. Keeping Paris and Londinium out of our business. I knew there would be no response when we presented it by way of their embassies. I knew that the reason why it was necessary to present it through their embassies was to be able to say with a straight face to their expats that we meet around the way, we've already suggested this, knowing that the only way to get this done is with the populace and not through Niamey or Abuja. They're not interested, and they're on the team. Not our team, not the melanated folks' team. The melanated heterosexuals, we are on our own. They're on the team of those that run the privately owned and operated UN. They're on the team of the oil barons and the vax barons, not the regular brother and sister around the way that speak one of the 250 languages and dialects in the Omotal district, not those that speak Serer or Wolof or Mendi or Sango or any other of the many languages and dialects in all the Moda-Boutin region. And the evidence is overwhelming that I'm right. So I take strong exception to how folks are going through over here because of their lack of imagination and their mental sloth. And I take strong exception to what our family's going through all throughout the mother continent, but right now, especially on the West Coast. Now, I know what they're saying on the West Coast periods. They want Paris out. No argument. I hear what you're saying. It is never the what. It is always the how. And they're showing you through multiple coups there is no plan except to allow the arms dealers out of Moscow and their PMCs in. Let them steal the resources. So you basically replace Paris with Moscow? The epitome of mental retardation personified. And this is why, again, you cannot discuss with me the BRIC stupidity when all the central banks are owned by the same party. And this is why you cannot discuss with me the so-called African Union. Again, for 1.6 billion folks, their quote-unquote budget is 4 times smaller than ours. I cannot take them seriously, and no one should. They have no actual plans. They are maintaining the status quo. At least we have a competent budget to take care of our folks on both sides of the ocean. We have a competent budget to deal with populations in 45 command areas across this planet. We have processes, protocols, and procedures. We have thought this through, unlike all these parties engaged in these coups. We have thought things through, unlike the religious folks. They're waiting for someone out of the sky to come assist them. Look, the power is literally in our collective hands. As melanated heterosexuals, it just takes desire and will to manifest the way. But it has to make sense. Take the conducts and hostiles out of the equation. They have no more power than what our kith and kindred insist on giving them. Parties will look at our fiscal budget and their eyes will glaze over. They won't ask any questions. Their eyes just glaze over. Inside of our fiscal budget, and I give thanks for this, the ability to take care of psycho-socioeconomic infrastructure is there. Technology and advancement of technology is there. Electrical power generation in a sustainable manner, in an environmentally friendly manner, is there. Transportation and the protection thereof, whether it's in trajectory trade or in transitory trade, we cover it. So, good, bad, or indifferent about the ancestor Marcus Mosiah Garvey, you can say what you want about him because folks are going to do it anyway. He wasn't wrong in terms of us being back to sea as a sea power regarding commerce and trade. So we endeavored to finish what he started along that continuum because we had 100 years to figure out what he did wrong, and we fixed it. Our budgets, they support our plans. Our budgets are not fully funded. Few thousand pounds of precious metal out of the soil of one of the many places in Alkebu-lan that have the resources, and we transform there and here overnight. few hundred pounds of diamonds, and we transform Greater-Amexem, the Alkebu-lan and the Ab.Zu, Cusharappasi, and Cebu-Cavite district overnight. So I don't want to hear nothing from anyone asking, why is the Amexem-Moor-Empire discussing all the coups on the other side of the ocean when you don't domicile there? We do domicile there. There's more Amexem-Empire nationals on the other side of the ocean than here in Greater-Amexem. We are unloved on this side of the ocean. At least for now. That sad commentary also proves the point that our folks don't think beyond 20 minutes. At least not right now. They do things against their own interests. There are consequences to that. They don't see it yet, but some of them are starting to, because the COVID nonsense changed the game. Players began to look around and said, wait, where are our plans? Why we gotta do it the conduct hostile say? Where's our plans? We have ours in the Amexem-Moor-Empire. We made it very clear. But all the quote-unquote leaders, the podium bangers, the big mouths around the way, the YouTube superstars, they had nothing to say. They provided no options, no choices, and no solutions. And they still are to this day, they're silent. The global quote-unquote one world currency is being pushed on them. And they're still silent. No plan. No platform. No process protocol. No procedure. We provide options to all of that. And none of them move to sit down and discuss anything with us. That tells us more about them. That tells us everything we need to know. Until folks pull their heads out of their backsides on both sides of the ocean, they will continue to be in a highly compromised position, and it does not have to be that way. Sad. You know it, and I know it.